Today we're looking at several pairs of wireless Bluetooth headphones, and these products range all the way from the budget end of the market all the way to the premium end. But here's where we make it interesting. Once I have concluded my thoughts, I will hand the products over to my wife to test after I have covered up the logos to get her impressions. By hopefully removing some of these potential cognitive biases, having no prior knowledge of the devices, she'll try to determine which market segments the products belong to. Let's get started. Just to set the stage a little bit, all of the devices here have an over-the-head design. They all feature Bluetooth technology with an optional 3.5mm jack in case you run out of juice. The only difference between them really is the inclusion of some premium features, which you'll find scattered throughout the budget to premium ends of the market. That's kind of the point of this video, is to see what you can get at each market segment and whether or not it's worth the price. We all know Amazon prices are subject to fluctuate, so you'll have to adjust your perceived value of the products based on the price that you see them as. So to kick things off, we'll start with the Sendu JH-803, priced at roughly $35. The design is nothing really special. It's a semi-gloss black material with silver accents. It's thin, light, and extremely portable, and the fact that it folds flat and even folds in on itself is an attractive feature for easy transport. The interface is simple with just 3 buttons, but it's effective. The center button sticks out more than the other two, so you can parameterize exactly where the buttons are. A single quick press will play and pause, where a long press will turn the device on or off. The top button increases the volume but also switches to the next song, and the inverse is true for the lower button, which both decreases the volume with a quick single press and goes to the previous song with a long press. It features 40mm drivers, which help deliver a surprisingly robust sound, but even more than that, even though the bass is the weakest out of all the devices I'll talk about today, the clarity is really surprising. I was really impressed with the amount of detail these little things were able to provide. They have kind of a half-on, half-over ear design. They're definitely not big enough for anyone's ears to completely encapsulate. They also squeeze on the head a little bit too tight, but on the plus side, they do hold onto your head really well, I think more than any of the other pairs here, so if you're active and you're going to be moving around with them, these are definitely not going anywhere. The Bluetooth, however, was really quick to connect, and the battery life is equally impressive at roughly 20 hours of continuous playback. Next up is the Soundpeats A2, which retail, again at the time of recording, for roughly $36. They feature a more minimalistic, modern design, and the large, heavily padded ear cups give them a deceptively premium feel. The interface is almost identical to the Sendus I just mentioned, however that center play button is a little bit harder to find. They likewise have 40mm drivers, however the audio quality is not quite as clear. They do get loud, really loud, but I'd say above 80% volume. They definitely get a little bit distorted, and they suffer quite a bit from noise leak, so you have to be cognizant of what you're listening to because everyone around you will be able to hear that as well. These have a true over-ear design that even with ears as large as mine can be completely enclosed within the ear cups, and surprisingly this doesn't block noise as well as you might imagine. You can definitely hear your surroundings, although not nearly as much as the aforementioned pair. They do not fold in or even fold flat. It's the only pair that doesn't do that, so that makes them less ideal for mobile transport, but the fact that they weigh just 190 grams make them the lightest pair here. It does not feature active noise cancellation, but it does have an included bass boost option, which is kind of a poor man's equalizer. I mean, let's face it, most people use a equalizer to bring up the bass a little bit. It's effective, it definitely works, however that distortion I mentioned comes in a lot sooner. And instead of getting distorted at like 80% volume, it comes in at about 60%, so that's something to be aware of. The battery life is likewise around 20 hours of continuous playback, however it charges via a comically short USB charging cable. Next up is the Elat Paul EP-6, which at $70 makes it the first mainstream entry into this review. Now, it should be noted that these can be found for as much as 50% off, putting them on par price-wise with the other two pairs I mentioned. I do have a discount code that you can try out. It may or may not work for you, but you can check that out in the video description. See if you might be able to get 50% off if these are the pair that interest you. But these are definitely the bulkiest of the bunch, and the glossy black plastic and silver reflective accents are absolute fingerprint electromagnets. It is impossible to keep this thing clean. The play button especially is impossible to find, and it doesn't help that a dummy button exists on the opposite ear cup. It's extremely frustrating. I don't know why in the world they would do that. But even more perplexing is the fact that the higher button, which you normally associate with up, turns the volume down. And it gets worse still, where you would normally consider holding the button to move the song along in a single press to change the volume level. It's actually the opposite. But it does redeem itself a little bit in the audio quality department. Featuring the largest drivers here at 45mm, they deliver a definitive punchy bass that's really pleasant to listen to. It does get a little bit muffled though. They do feature active noise cancellation, and if you need a refresher on exactly what that technology is and how it works, then check out that video up in the cards. The only issue is that they seem to have a harder time covering the higher frequencies. It also really cuts down on the power of the bass. It's almost like an anti-bass boost button, but considering it's a little bit bass heavy to begin with, that might actually be okay. And they last a surprising 30 hours on a single charge. And that brings us to the big boys, the Sony WH-CH700N, which priced at $130 make them the most expensive pair of headphones in this lineup. Now, I'm perfectly aware that there are other pairs of headphones out there that retail for much more, but I would consider these roughly the starting point to the premium market. They are definitely the most professional looking devices here. A matte black gray texture with silver accents cover the headphones, and they also come in a matte blue for those that feel a little more ostentatious. Play, pause, forward, and backward is a lever, and it works pretty well, but the delay takes some getting used to. For example, when I press pause, it's not an instantaneous pause. It actually takes a full 2 seconds before it pauses the track on my phone. You get used to it pretty quick. It's a mild annoyance, but it's definitely there. It also features active noise cancellation, which you should reasonably expect at this price point. It's not hyper aggressive, but it does cover a wide range of frequencies. On top of that, it has this nice ease in and ease out to the noise cancellation. Everything around you just kind of fades away into silence. It's a nice little effect. The audio quality is, unsurprisingly, really good. Very, very good. They have 40mm drivers, and as we all know, size isn't everything. It's what you do with it that matters, right? So 40mm drivers, while they're not the biggest drivers here, they definitely sound the best. The included Sony app lets you modify the sound signature to your heart's desire. Through the app, you can activate the virtual phones technology, which provides an artificial soundstage. It also gives you that equalizer I mentioned, which you can set your own custom profiles or choose one of the included presets. From here, you can toggle the active noise cancellation and also see what's now playing. You can play, pause, turn up or down the volume, and skip the track forward or backward. You can also toggle the sound quality, which basically lets you choose between a higher quality sound signature and an extended range, and you can also toggle Sony's DSEE technology, which is digital sound enhancement engine. It basically takes lower bitrate audio and makes it sound a little bit better. They also get extremely loud, extremely uncomfortably loud, with no distortion to speak of. They last an astonishing 35 hours of continuous playback. They are far and away the most comfortable pair as well, even with less padding than some of the other devices. It's apparent that they spent a lot more time in research and development into creating a comfortable design that didn't have to be very bulky. That's very obvious. Well, those are my impressions of the devices, but I think what might be a little bit more interesting is handing them over to someone who has no prior knowledge of the devices. So I think that's what we'll do. I'll hand them to my wife, and we'll see if she can correctly identify which market segment they belong to. All right, first pair.
All right, pair A. Nice function buttons on the side. Cool style. People like that bass boost.
I don't know. It's an acquired taste, I think.
Hurts my ears. I'd say they're probably in like the mainstream
So between 50 and 100 is what you
Yeah,
think?
I'd say these are probably like 75.
Then pair B.
The ear cups are too small. A little flimsier, but I guess it's nice that they fold. I don't know. I was worried I'm like gonna break them. Yeah, these are definitely in the budget category. The sound was a lower quality than the first pair.
Pair C.
Alright, these are a lot heavier than the previous pairs. Seem a lot higher quality. Definitely some unique controls there, like toggles, I guess.
Through my phone, I'm going to turn the noise cancellation on and off.
Oh, wow. In like a quiet place right now. That's creepy.
So I thought I needed.
Can I keep these forever? Yeah, you definitely tell these are in like the expensive category.
And finally, pair D.
They're definitely not as high quality as the last pair, but they're trying to be. Okay, they have pretty good, just padding in and of themselves. That sounds pretty good on these. Not quite as good as the last pair, but I think definitely second best. I think they're high-end, mainstream, low-end, expensive.
Okay, so headset A, those actually retail for about $35.
Ooh. These are probably my favorite. Knowing that they were like affordable and not like ridiculously expensive for like the budget mainstream they were.
Headset B, $36 or so, $36.
That's crazy. For like the same price, you can have these or these.
And you liked A more.
Way more.
Okay. Headset C, you definitely got exactly right. About $130 for those. And then headset D, they're a little bit less expensive, about $70 for those.
Okay.
Well, I think her input was very telling and likely captured the impressions that many of you probably have. These are intended for entirely different use cases, and that's true. I still think you can rank them as far as like what headset offers the best value, and given that metric, I'll definitely have to give the win to the Soundpeats A2. At a cool $36, the comfort and audio quality are better than any value pair of headphones should have any right to be. Although they aren't as transport friendly as other products here, their other redeeming qualities make them hard to pass up. Next, I'm going to give it to the Sendu JH-803, which at $35 are comparable to the previously mentioned Soundpeats A2s. The Bluetooth connection is quick and reliable, the sound quality far exceeded my expectations, and the user experience is well thought out. It does not offer active noise cancellation, but the lightweight foldable design make it an excellent choice if you are both on the go and on a budget. In third, we have the Sony WH-CH700N, which offer a likewise very attractive value proposition, but since they are priced a full $100 more than the first two, I definitely hold them to a higher standard. For the most part, they hold up to that higher standard and deliver the most feature-rich experience here. Frequent flyers especially will love these given the excellent noise cancellation, longest battery life, and unsurpassed comfort. They are the only pair here I could recommend wearing for several hours at a time. And that brings us to the Elat Paul EP-6, and while I did still enjoy this device, it offers the least compelling argument of the bunch. The audio quality, noise cancellation, and comfort are all praiseworthy. However, the bulky design and awful control scheme is where things start to fall apart. Arguably, the largest benefit to Bluetooth headphones is not requiring immediate access to your phone. If I find myself pulling out my phone to change the song or the volume or take a call, that defeats the purpose entirely. And for that reason, I'm gonna have to give them last place. But you'll have to make that determination for yourself and see if what I've mentioned matches up with what you think they should be valued at. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you appreciated this video and found it informative, please consider giving it a like and consider subscribing so you know when our newest content is ready to watch. Also, if you liked this video, you'll likely enjoy our other videos as well, which you can find here. We've done other headset reviews, computer builds, other tech reviews. You'll likely enjoy all of that. And we do giveaways every month, so don't forget to check the video description where you can find both these products on Amazon if you're interested in purchasing them, and also entries to our giveaways. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.